Hello and welcome. My name is Arity Green and this is Wise Woman Television. And today I am bringing you a pick a card reading on Are They the One? So is your love interest, your person of interest, love connection, or significant other, is this person the one? Now I will tell you, most readings, they generally do not point toward a firm yes or firm no. They offer a likelihood or even the signs that this person could be the one. So keep that in mind as we continue. I do want to let you know that I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching programs to support you in your life and your work and your spiritual path. I also have an extraordinary program out right now that is enrolling, if you're watching this as it is published anyway, as this is a timeless video. And it is called Spirit Woman, and it is a year-long coaching community to nurture your true nature and highest potential. So please do check out those details below if that calls to you. And of course, if you like this video, I ask that you like and subscribe and support this channel as I support you. So I will go ahead and put a picture of your 3 card piles up now. Okay, so card pile 1. Is this person the one? Let's give it a look. So the first thing that's coming up, my very first inclination, just by the first 2 cards, and I'm going to show you why I say this, because again, it's very rare to get a firm yes or no. Sometimes you can get a number of cards that point toward a no or point toward a yes. Now, I would say that this person is a yes, a tentative yes, meaning the energy is good, the possibilities are high, and that if you guys are able to work toward that, cultivate that, support that possibility, that this is a high potential that this person is the one. So whether this is a crush, love connection, significant other, we'll get into more details too, because you didn't come here just for that, let's hope. I mean, maybe you did. However, it's looking like this is a possibility because this could be relevant to your soul purpose. I even feel like for some of you, bringing about a family and the next generation, children, and that there is some kind of possibility in this for that, and that there's something here about being able to bring about whatever it is that each of you, your souls came in to do, that the other, so for you, them, and for them, you guys are a great match for what wants to come through in terms of what your souls want to be able to create and do here. There's also a great chance of success with each other in terms of being able to co-create, create a life and family that's truly aligned and authentic for you. I do feel like there is great possibility for creating abundance and success within this family. A lot of peace and harmony and nourishment and all the things that you value and really appreciate and support. Or would like to be able to experience. There's just a high possibility here of goodness, of a yes, like, hey, there's a chance to be able to build a life together. That's really what it is. There is a great likelihood here to be able to build a family and build a life together and to do what you came here for. So again, your soul's incarnated here and for oftentimes a particular purpose or many of purposes. And this doesn't mean that we have to, like I'm thinking of the movie Soul, where people believe or assume that there is this one spark and this one reason you come to here to incarnate, and that's it. When in truth, your purpose is in every moment. It comes in pieces and living fully and loving well in all the moments that you have. So that's relevant, but your souls did sign up to create or do something on this earth, and coming together, I feel like it's going to make this potential more likely. There's a higher likelihood that it happens when you guys both have each other to support each other, to bring about the best in each other. So that's really what's coming through here. You guys can bring out the best in each other and really support each other to co-create a life that you truly deeply desire, that you envision for yourself. Now, I do feel like for some of you, I don't know if this is relevant for everybody, but it's coming through, so it might be relevant for a small minority of you or a few of you or even more. And that's this feeling of a homestead or alternative life path, alternative family lifestyle. This could be growing your own food, having farm animals, ensuring your own eggs and milk and things like that. That might not be a vision that you have for yourself. That's fine. That's just one thing that's coming through, and it could just be an example. Like, isn't it easier to be able to co-create that when you have someone else who has a similar set of values, right? So it's kind of bringing about an example here, whether that's perfectly your vision or not, as to how a vision comes more easily when we're with someone who is very compatible and highly aligned with us. So there is a great chance for success here in your relationship, in your family, and your vision. Okay, so let's see here. So I feel like for many of you, this person's already in your life. Okay, so this could mean a number of things. This means that this person is in your periphery, that you already know them, they're a friend, and something develops later. This could mean that this person is a crush or someone you've identified as a potential, and that's what you're exploring, and that's why you're here today. But it could also be someone that you are already with, and you are curious about, wondering, okay, you know, is this going to develop? Is this person right for me? Is this person the one? Now, I don't know if you are having doubts. I think for some of you, if you are having doubts, there is a fear of abandonment or a fear of rejection, and that's why you might have some fears and such come up about this person. Because so far, and there might come through, there other things might come through in terms of things to be aware of and things to be careful with, but so far it's feeling that this is an a-okay match. This is a very compatible match, if not a soulmate or someone that could play the role of soulmate with you in this life. If you do have fears about or doubts or concerns as to whether this person could be it for you or could be the one for you, it might be because you are actually fearing rejection and abandonment, and it might be finding a way to kind of self-sabotage the connection, and or you're not able to see clearly because of your own filters and projections onto the relationship. So do make sure for card pile 1, if this is relevant for you and you are having any resistances, concerns, fears, worries, and that's why you're here today, if that's the case, make sure to own up and take full responsibility for any kind of projections or fears that you have that stem from childhood or previous relationships that dictate that you might be left behind, or you might be broken up with, or you might be betrayed. Like, those kinds of fears can get in the way of present relationships, even when they're not true, because we're seeing the relationship through the filter of the past. So please do keep that in mind. Now, I also feel like some of you have journeyed for a long time on your own, and so perhaps you're on here because someone has come into your world or into your periphery, or you're wondering what's going to happen for you, because I do feel like for some of you, you have been on your own or are alone currently. So this person must be in your energy field. They must be somewhere very near you, because the card here that's coming through is what's already with you. So there must be someone who's in your world, in your life, or in your time-space reality in one way or another. Otherwise, that card wouldn't be coming through and you wouldn't have chosen card pile 1. So let's move on and see what else. Yeah, so here's the thing. You guys both have a similar dream for yourselves, or at least what you want. Now, I don't know if you guys have been completely upfront and explicit about it, you know, these bigger dreams in terms of, oh, I want a family and kids and a homestead. I think some of these things, if that is a reality, if that is a true desire for you, but that's just an example, sometimes those kinds of dreams aren't shared explicitly with a partner or a potential partner, and especially if you guys haven't gotten to know each other very well yet. But I think some of this too, it's like sometimes that you don't always even know that that's a desire until you connect with someone, and then it sort of ignites something inside of you that awakens that, and then you start to see things more clearly. You have a different vision for your life. You have a clearer and deeper understanding of what you want. So I feel like that's what's happening for you guys, or what will, such that when you guys connect, you're able to see how you can build something that you both could really appreciate and value with each other. You could bring about a shared vision, and you realize that it's going to awaken, or it has already, or is awakening and igniting, something within you as a result of this connection. So you know how sometimes, you know, two wires on their own are one thing, and then they come together and they spark, right? Something like that. I have no idea if that's an actual real life example, because I'm not an electrician. So I'm just giving a little bit of an example here, or a metaphor, and that's what's coming through here, is that you guys spark something that's already inside of you, but becomes much more real and much more relevant when you guys connect. So when you continue this relationship, or once you decide to move forward together, whatever it is your situation, this vision becomes clear, your desires become clear, and you recognize that this is a great counterpart to be able to build this life and greater vision with. Yeah, so there's currently a transformation here undergoing. So again, for some of you, you might be going through some difficulty with this partner, or meaning it doesn't mean that they've done something wrong, you've done something wrong. It's nothing like that. It's like we have ups and downs in life, and you might be going through that period of questioning or doubt or confusion, and so maybe that's why you're here. So I'm getting that again, and if that's the case, please know that your coupledom is going through an initiation or transformation of sorts to really support the highest vision and highest potential for the both of you. Now, for the rest of you who aren't in that situation, it's feeling like you are undergoing some kind of metamorphosis or transformation that is supporting you to bring about the highest possibilities and potentials for yourself and relationship. Again, you want something and you're able to see, or at least have some idea that you might want something. Again, I got some alternative path kind of vibes earlier. That might not be the case for everybody, but it's like you have a particular vision for your life. It might even be quote unquote alternative in some way, and you're going through you're undergoing and going through a transformation right now that's going to support this to be able to come through for you and bring in someone more of a committed partner. Like, again, if you aren't in the committed partnership yet, I'm trying to touch all the different conditions here, then that'll bring that person about to make this potential or this possibility more likely with each other, right? In a committed sense, to where you guys are able to commit to each other and to this life together and then co-create and build it. Yeah, so again, working together to create what it is you both want. So I feel like this relationship, I didn't get a lot of like ooey gooey love and romance. Sometimes we get those in the relationship or love focused card readings, and those are great. And then sometimes we get more of this person's really great to have as a companion so that you guys can walk and co-create together. Sometimes we get more of that, like not strictly business, because it feels warm, right? And it feels sort of delicious and fulfilling, but it doesn't feel like fireworks and orgasms. And it doesn't mean that you don't have some serious fireworks and orgasms in this connection. But what it does say is like you guys are very much focused, your souls anyway, the higher perspective, the grander perspective is ensuring that both of you have a partner that can bring about your greater visions and your spiritual mission, like what you came here for. And some of that will involve a family and children. If that lands for you, that's relevant. Now, there is a message here, not as a warning, but just as some guidance, some gentle guidance, or to offer some awareness that be patient with this connection. Also be patient with the greater vision that you guys are both building. So it could go one of two ways, if not both. But it's like if this connection hasn't fully blossomed yet, maybe that's why you're here. Trust this connection, trust this path. Again, we talked about the rebirth and transformation that's happening for either the both of you or one of you. And this connection is supporting you to bring about this deeper connection and partnership with each other that then results in being able to build together, to work together, to build a life together. So remember, that's happening right now, and to not prematurely run away. Again, if you're trying to do that, it could be because of your abandonment and rejection issues and fears from the past. You can trust this connection. Trust that what's happening now is supporting the greater outcome that both of you desire, especially as souls with your greater awareness and visions and wisdom. The stuff that your soul knows that maybe your human can't understand. So being patient with this connection is key, but also being patient with the cycles of creation together, meaning this could be that some of you might want to have children. It takes a little bit longer. That doesn't feel like a huge energy. It feels like maybe 1% to 3% of you. But some of you, it could also be that you're building this homestead, this life, or this vision together, and maybe it takes a little bit longer than what you expect, or that this connection is taking it's taking a little bit longer than what you would desire to really grow, to blossom, to flourish, and to become a committed relationship and partnership. Trust the path, trust the process. Of course, honor yourself above all else. If something doesn't feel right and it doesn't feel safe, please do trust that you are your final authority. But I don't get that energy here whatsoever. I get the energy of great potentials, great possibilities, and that your souls are choosing to come together to be able to build a life together and co-create a vision that you otherwise might not be able to do on your own. All right, so that's your reading card pile 1. If this lands, resonates, I encourage you to like, to subscribe, to join us, to be a part of this family more or less. I do want to let you know I offer both personal readings as well as coaching programs to support you in your life, in your work, and on your spiritual path. I have this extraordinary program out right now called Spirit Woman. It's enrolling now, and it is a year-long coaching community to nurture your true nature and your highest potential. And you can find out those details, aritygreen.com/spiritwoman. Thank you, card pile 1. Okay, card pile 2. Are they the one? Okay, so this feels like a new connection, this could be a crush, but I actually feel like it's a new connection. So perhaps you don't know each other that well yet. If that's not landing for you, then keep watching. There might be more information that unfolds with the other layers of the reading, but that's the first and primary energy that's coming through now. This is something that's new. This is something that's fresh. I feel like it's a little bit closer than a crush, but not quite a partnership or committed relationship yet. So that's the energy that's here. Again, if that's not the case for you, but you did choose this, there might be something here in this pile for you. So stay with me and see if we do find something that lands for you. So this is something new. Now here's the thing. There's an energy coming through that's asking you to be 100% clear on what it is you want and be completely honest and transparent with yourself before you were to jump into a committed relationship or partnership with this person. So is this really what you want, or is it an easy choice? Is this really what you want, or is it not an ideal choice? Is this really what you want, or is this more a reflection of your old ways, previous identities, just parts of you that you no longer want to manifest with, right? There are, like our wounded inner children, we probably won't manifest from them unless they're healed and we're aware of their sort of like childhood wonder, innocence, and dreams. And it's like, okay, great, let's tap into that. And or if we've been through a difficult period in our lives where we kind of, you know, maybe had addictions or this and that. I'm just giving some random examples. This is not in this card pile, but I'm saying we wouldn't want to manifest from those parts of us. We want to manifest from the parts of us that have a higher and greater vision for ourselves, something that's healthier, more balanced, and integrated. So all of that to say, to circle around and ask you, what is it that you want for your life? What kind of partner do you want? Write those down or get a very clear awareness as to what your answer is, and then compare it to this person. Now, this doesn't mean it's in our right to judge and evaluate this person or your person of interest, whoever this is, and decide if they are a good or bad person, and to tell them so or assume as much. This is more about, are they right for you, right? There are no good or bad people. I mean, that's an arguable comment, but there are no good or bad people. It's more or less, are they good or right for us? And that's what I'm asking you to look at. And let's see what else is happening here. Yeah, because it seems like you're really excited. You're thrilled about this connection. You want it to be something. You want it to be bigger than it is. And it doesn't mean that it's not that, but it wants you to be honest with yourself. So this could be about card pile 2, pacing yourself. It might not be as much about this person isn't the one, although right now the energy is asking you to be transparent, honest with yourself. So it could be tending toward a no, this person isn't the one, but that's not a clear and indicative answer just yet. And it could be because you don't know them well enough to know that, but it also could be because, again, this energy is coming through because it's asking you to pace yourself and not overdo it and be like, okay, so when are we getting married? And not that you're doing that, right? That's just me being silly, but it's like you're going out there with the fool's energy, very naive, optimistic, hoping for the best, assuming no obstacle or issue. And when we go in with that energy and it's not balanced, grounded, integrated, not only can that scare people away, I don't think that's what's happening here, but it can get us sort of in this like whimsical, fanciful daydream-like reality where we project all that we want on this person and it's not even real, okay? So it's just being aware of what's actually true. So really digging deep and asking yourself, is this what I want? Is this person what I want? In fact, even before considering or thinking about this person, asking yourself, because that's what Spirit wants from you. It's not even saying this person isn't right for you. It's saying, ask yourself what you want. And then look at this person and ask if they very easily fit. Are they aligned with what you want? Are they aligned with your bigger vision for yourself? Now, if you don't have that answer, there is an opportunity here to explore this connection further or more deeply. But again, it's asking you to pace yourself and not get yourself so wrapped up in assuming this bigger outcome or this bigger ending or this happy ending or whatever before the... before it gets going. There's a better phrase than that. Before the going gets going, but it's not that. It's something better that I can't think of. It's like I can channel Spirit. That's cool. But you know, coming up with like a basic everyday phrase, apparently not possible. So, yeah, because again, so there's something here about, again, making choices and decisions from your higher self or your highest potential or your truest, most authentic path, as opposed to a lack of deservingness or a lack of self-worth or a lack of belief in yourself, okay? So there's something here about, you know, really getting centered and clear and connecting with your truest self and making a decision or deciding how to move forward with this connection before you were to move forward with this connection. Again, because I was getting earlier, and I'm getting this nudge yet again about, you know, are you creating from your past or are you creating from your future? You know, are you wanting to repeat patterns from the past or are you trying to create a new future? So what this means is perhaps you went through, you know, a bunch of relationships when you were younger and you started realizing it was a reflection of your self-worth, and now Now you've moved beyond that and you've decided that I'm going to choose someone who does reflect my self-worth, my newfound an ownership of my self-worth. Does this person reflect that? You might say, okay, in a lot of my past relationships, I defaulted to old or toxic patterns that really didn't serve me. It was unhealthy, dysfunctional. Any number of things could be that for you, so just apply it to your circumstances. And so you finally cleared all that out and you've come to like a newfound clean slate with yourself, and you want to make sure that you're seeing, okay, is this person more aligned with that, or are they more aligned with where I'm going? So that's the question that you're asking for yourself. Right, Spirit wants you to have a conscious connection, okay? So it wants you to be really tapping into your soul, your spirit, your inner wisdom to make decisions about your romantic potentials and your future, as opposed to that part of you that just really wants something to be that fool's energy from the tarot, or that inner child who just so desperately wants to be loved and to share love. It just really wants you to make a decision for yourself from your place of personal power, as opposed to the place that just really wants someone, just is lonely, right? It wants you to connect with someone, a conscious connection, someone who can offer you personal growth, who can offer you love, who can support you in your growth, who's going to support you toward and in your highest potential. Again, there's something here about not defaulting to old patterns or to people who are going to keep you down or pull you down or hold you back or dim your light in some way, and it wouldn't be intentional. That wouldn't be their intention. It's like, if they're a reflection of your past or they're a reflection of your future, if they're a reflection of your past, they're by nature going to dim your light and hold you back in some way and keep you small. So Spirit wants you to make sure that you're choosing the right person for you, that's going to support you to grow, that's going to support you to evolve, that's going to support you to really hold and anchor the visions and desires that you have for yourself into your life. And it wants you to have a conscious partner that can support you, right? I feel like for card pile 2, even though it can be difficult to hear, and again, you are your final authority, you get to decide, and ultimately Spirit's asking you to make that decision based on all the questions that I've posed here. So please know that is what's happening here, and that you are the ultimate authority, and you're the one who gets to make the decision. But are they the one? It's feeling like it's not that they aren't the one, it's just that they're not the one for your future. They might be yet another reflection of your past, not where you're going, but where you came from. So because the universe wants to remind you that there's so many other possibilities out there. There's grander futures, grander horizons. There's so much more, and as you grow and expand, those are going to become clear and available for you, because as you are growing and growing up and out of these old patterns and this past history and old paradigms and things like that, you can trust that the manifestation is going to bring you more aligned choices or more aligned connections, those people that can kind of walk shoulder to shoulder with you, okay? Someone who's your equal. That's really what it's about, card pile 2. Are they the one? Well, are they your equal? Have they done all the work that you have? And if you say, well, gosh, I really haven't done the work either, I'm just kind of getting there myself and kind of picking up my big boy or big girl pants myself and kind of getting it together, so I really can't judge this person either and say that, they're not, if I'm not my highest potential, how can I expect that from them? And that's fine if that's the case and you can recognize that in yourself. So it's not saying that either of you have to be perfect, but it's saying, is this person going to fit with and align within your ultimate desire, bigger vision for yourself? Dream big, reach for the stars. Are they that person? Or are they a person that is more than likely a reflection from your past? Because Spirit's saying, as you grow, you're going to be able to manifest more compatible matches that honor your highest potential. And that's really what this is about, card pile 2. It wants you to choose a connection, the one, whoever that is. And even if you're not speaking to a particular connection here, the way that we talked about it when we opened, it's saying that when you decide now or later if a person is the one, the question you're going to ask specifically, card pile 2, is, can they support me to bring about my highest potential? If they can't, they're not the one. If they can, then they are. So card pile 2, that's your reading. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. Of course, if you liked this reading, I encourage you to like and subscribe. I do want to let you know I offer both personal readings as well as coaching programs to support you in your life, in your work, and on your spiritual path. I do have an extraordinary program out right now. It's called Spirit Woman, aritygreen.com/spiritwoman. It's a year-long coaching community to nurture your true nature and your highest potential. So without further ado, I will see you next time. Thank you, card pile 2. Okay, so card pile 3, are they the one? So the first thing that's coming up here is you're embarking on a new path, a new journey, a new adventure, a new chapter for yourself. I feel like perhaps you've been on a healing or growth journey and a path of integration of bringing some parts of yourself on board. This could be inner work, inner child work, shadow work, integration work, healing, spirituality, whatever. You put any name on it you want. We're not going to get too deep into that. I have plenty of card readings that talk about deep work, shadow work, inner work, and all that stuff, which you can find on my channel everywhere. But for today, we're focused on Are They the One? And it feels like you want to move forward with someone. Perhaps you're looking for a greater commitment. Perhaps you are looking for, there's this desire to move forward. And you're confused about whether it's like you want to, but there is some kind of conflict or confusion. Now, I don't know if that's conflict or confusion on this person's end or if it's yours, but we might get some greater detail. My dog keeps walking back and forth across the floor, so I do apologize. But it's like you want to move forward, it feels like, but there could be some inner conflict within you. And this person might also be putting up some kind of resistance. So we'll go a little bit deeper to see what the other layers of this reading have, but it just feels like there is an opportunity here for a greater commitment or a deeper partnership. Like there's something that's happening here in terms of like a crossroads or a choice point. And so I'm feeling like this is bigger than a crush, although it could be a crush and you're wondering whether to move forward with this person. Things might be a little wonky. They're not communicating frequently or consistently, so you're kind of unsure of where they stand. So for some of you, that might be the case. And for some of you, I feel like you might already be in a partnership and you're wondering if this person is in fact the one because you're not quite seeing the green flags of a quote unquote good relationship, meaning things might be great, but they're not moving forward and they haven't pushed forward. So you're kind of starting to wonder whether this is truly the one for you. So those are the couple of examples that are coming up now. We might get more as we dive a little bit deeper, but that's what's coming through right off the bat. So so again, I do feel like you have been on some kind of healing journey recently, and that's coming up again. There's this renewed something within you. So again, you've been on a spiritual journey, a spiritual growth journey, healing, something along here. And I think maybe this says it could have changed you or it could have changed the relationship in some way. But I do wonder if for some of you, you're wondering, you're kind of, what is it called? In two minds, where it's like you want to move forward with this person, but you don't. You maybe want them to be the one or once thought that they were the one, but aren't sure anymore. So that's a very clear and third example that I'm getting for some of you. So it's like you've been through some journeying with yourself, some healing work with yourself, and now as a result, you have a fresh and renewed perspective. And with that fresh and renewed perspective, you're now unsure if this person is right for you. You're now unsure if they're compatible for you. You're unsure if you're settling or if this is in fact your one true person. So I feel like that's like the majority of energy here. I know I gave some examples in the beginning with the first two cards, and then we refined it as we went. However, those other examples could apply. I just feel like it's like kind of 30%, and this is like the majority. 60% of you, it feels like, are already in a connection. You've done some growth work. Maybe the other person has too, and either one or both of you are now questioning the connection. And I even feel like for some of you, you may not even know it, but the other person is questioning the connection too. So one or both of you are questioning this connection now that you guys have both done some healing and some growth work, and you're wondering if this is still going to be right for you, because a part of you is tied to this person or attached to this person in some way, and to the ideas and visions and dreams that you had for each other. You once thought this person was the one, so it's difficult to reconcile with the fact that they very well may not be. And so as a result, you're of two minds. It's like you want to, so now I'm getting yet another piece to the puzzle, and it's you're almost feeling like it might be time to leave this connection. You might be feeling like, okay, it's time to part. So you've kind of, in your mind, it maybe hasn't happened yet, but you've sort of packed your bags and seen yourself leave or move away or leave this partnership or whatever. You haven't yet. I feel like for most of you, if not all of you, you haven't yet left. You've sort of seen yourself do this. You've sort of daydreamed about it. It's been something you sort of mulled over, and you're deciding this is ultimately what you want. And again, this person might be questioning the relationship too, but you are of two minds. One part of you wants to stay, one part of you wants to go, and you're trying to find a way to reconcile these parts of you. Now, the very first thing that's coming through is, look, because we're made of many parts, okay? So I want you to look at the part of you that wants to stay. And I want you to journal and write down why. Why do you want to stay with this person? Write all the reasons down, okay? stream of consciousness, whatever wants to come up, you're not censoring it or, you know, saying, oh, that you can't say that, or, well, that's not right, or that's really egoic, or that's not, whatever. There's no judgment. You need to be honest with yourself for this practice to work. So write down that part of you, why you want to stay. Now I want you to go and write at a different time after you've cleared all that out. Then go and cleared all that out, meaning you put it all on paper. Then you go on to, why do I want to go? And I want you to write down all of those reasons. So after you've completed that exercise, I want you to take a look at those lists and look at which part of me is the wounded part of me and which part of me is the liberated and true, more authentic part of me. Which part of me is more in their personal power, which part of me is more in fear, which part of me is operating from fear, which part of me is operating from love. So you're going to be able to gain clarity, because what wants to happen within you, because you are, what's the word? You are kind of stretched between two minds. Like, let's take a look at this photo so you can see it. And you're trying to bridge the gap. You're trying to understand. You're trying to find certainty. You're trying to find alignment. When I say alignment, I mean getting all parts of yourself on board, to united and toward one front. And so far, you've been unable to do that. So I want you to go deeper, and I want you to take a look at each of those aspects or parts of you. And I want you to start recognizing which parts of those of you they are. Meaning, like, what are their motivations? You know, why are they suggesting this? Why are they suggesting that? Who is in their personal power? Who's operating from fear? Who's operating from love? Because that's going to be able to tell you which part of you is operating from illusion and woundedness and pain and fear, and the part of you that's operating from truth, authenticity, genuine desire, soul, spirit, your greater wisdom, your higher self. That's really going to give you, I feel like, some of the clarity, certainty, and conviction that you currently lack. Okay? Yeah. So again, there's a number of things here. I think you're racking your mind with this, and it's been a difficult time to mentally process this and analyze it. You're not finding you're coming to an answer easily, and I think the reason is because there's literally two parts of you that are battling it out to the death, and ain't nobody giving up, baby. So you're stuck in this situation of like, well, I want this, well, I want that. Well, I want this, well, I want that. Well, I want this, well, I want that. How are you ever going to find clarity? You're just operating that same level. If you're right, what is that quote? Is it Martin Luther King? That you can't solve something at the same level of consciousness that initiated it or created it or perpetuated it. So just going back and forth with yourself and your mind, arguing between both of these parts, is not going to give you the clarity that you need. Let's look at their deeper motivations and where they stem from, their arguments. Well, I really think that this could go this way. And I really think, oh, well, if we did this could go that way. So really take a look at that inner dialogue and the narrative and all the things and such that each part of you is giving up, or like sharing through that journaling exercise. And then you'll be able to recognize, is this coming from wounding or coming from truth? And obviously, if you're looking to really connect with your most authentic desire, you're going to go with the part of you that connects with truth, not illusion, falsehood, fear, ego, pain, rejection, all of that stuff. Okay? So I feel like now there's a couple ways I'm going to interpret this card. So I think some of you now have okay, so actually I'm going to go ahead and say this. What I'm feeling is this relationship has been battered and bruised before. So it's not like it's been through the ringer. You guys have done a lot of growing together, and that tends to happen in our more spiritually connected relationships, where we bring forth all of our triggers and we bring forth all of our traumas. And luckily, when these containers are safe and supportive and conducive to healing, and they're loving containers for us to grow, we can take a look at these projections, these triggers and traumas, and decide whether we're going to continue to carry them with us in the future. And we're able to deepen into intimacy, connect with more love, and really expand into a beautiful space of unconditional love. And we're able to expand in that really beautiful place of unconditional love with each other. And I feel like that was a possibility and still is a possibility for this connection. But as a result of the sort of warfare and the battling and bruising that has happened in this relationship so far, both parties are feeling a little weak and wounded, and both parties are unsure as to whether to continue. So is the stamina there? Is the resilience still there? Is it still worth it? Both people are sort of moving through whether or not that's the case, whether or not they're still willing to move this forward. So let's go on to the next set of cards here. So yeah, a part of this is really getting deep into yourself, digging deep, and I feel like some of you guys have done that. But here's the thing: so much of you have gotten stuck at the level of the mental realm and been unable to find clarity, again, because you're just arguing back and forth with yourself. Well, that's not going to get you anywhere. So you feel like, oh, I've already dug deep, I've already done this, like if nothing else, it just mind fucks me. So if that's the case, you want to either get support to have someone hold deep presence for you so that you can listen to your soul song, so that you can listen to the whispers of your heart, because the only thing that's going to give you clarity are those parts of you, not the parts that are arguing back and forth in the mind, and just the thinking back and forth and the dialoguing and so on and so forth. And remember, we talked about that journaling exercise. I think for most of you, or at least for many of you, that's going to give you the clarity that you need, and it's going to become clear. I still foresee the energy is here that you're going to continue to battle yourself and have this inner conflict going as to whether you continue this relationship. That's certainly something that's understandable. These are tough decisions. And I also suggest, if you don't find that clarity there, or if you continue to be sort of wrought with mental stress and conflict over this, please do find support in a therapist, healer, mentor, guide, teacher, someone who can hold really deep presence and space for you so that you can feel what's inside, as opposed to sort of continue the same old hamster wheel that you're just going on and running on in your mind, and it's getting you nowhere. You really want to connect deeply to see ultimately what is it that you truly want, and where is this coming from? Where is the motivation to stay coming from? Where is the motivation coming from to leave? And because here's the thing, these kind of relationships, because of the nature of them, we already talked about this, it's going to bring up your deepest, darkest traumas. It's going to bring, literally bubble up to the surface all the old shit that you have either even carried in karmically from other lifetimes, or even other lifetimes with this person, but also this lifetime with your parents, and this lifetime with other relationships. And so those parts of you could be screaming out because it's scared and it doesn't want to commit, it doesn't want to recommit, it doesn't, so a lot of those voices can get very, very loud, because terror speaks loudly and the divine often whispers quietly. And so these really loud screams come up, and then it's really hard to gain clarity or even peace, because you're not able to see correctly. So in these kinds of relationships that trigger the deepest growth, while they can be extremely beneficial and valuable to the soul, they can also be very difficult for the human, because they can't even gain clarity. They can't gain traction, right? They don't have somewhere to kind of place and stand on their own 2 feet anymore. They've lost that grounding for themselves. And so that's why I say suggesting someone to hold deep space for you, and also to be a little bit more light and easy on yourself with this process. When you're in this really intense and difficult energy, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to find your answer. The clarity is not going to come from that. It's just not. And I think you know that, and you're hearing this and you're like, oh, I know, but it's so frustrating. And so, it's not going to come from this place. So just racking your brain and thinking about it and mulling over it and ruminating over it is not going to give you the answer that you seek. However, what will is having the support for someone to hold you in really deep presence, so you can really contact the deeper parts of you beyond all those triggers and trauma and projections and filters and judgments and evaluations and ideas and expectations and standards and all the conditioning basically in your whole life that's told you things have to be this way, and then all the pain that said get out of there, and that's a lot of loud voices, and it's like, where's the it's like cacophony of like 1,000 voices. And it's like, okay, so which one's right, and who do I listen to? So all that stuff needs to be more or less silenced or quieted, so you can gain that inner voice, the inner wisdom, the truth. Because ultimately, Spirit wants clarity for you. Now take a look at these energies. Look at the difference in these energies. This is where you're at now, or have been. And Spirit wants you to be in this beautiful, peaceful state, this harmonious state of clarity, of peace, of knowingness, of gentle knowingness, gentle resolve. And it's not even that feeling of like, oh, I'm cutting this off and I'm out of here. That's more pain and projection. This is more of, I found my peace and I know what I must do. How easy it is to flow in and out, in if I desire to stay, how easy it is to flow out if that's where I'm meant to be. There's a flow here that's not fully being captured or entered in that can guide you one way or the other, but you just haven't had the serenity, the peace of mind to be able to enter it, because Spirit wants this for you, okay? They want you to be able to have this peace and to be able to make, what's interesting, it's like this, they want you to make this decision for yourself, but decision just feels so masculine and solid. And I don't feel like that's what it is. I'm going to sit here for just a moment and contemplate on this for you. 1 minute. So essentially, it's that gentle knowingness of when you are embodied with love and coming from a space of love, there's really not this like intense, like severing and cutting off, and that it's not that kind of energy. It's just this gentle knowingness and simply doing what must be done. And it doesn't feel like there's any hard feelings or any emotional charge behind it. We're not running away from anything or escaping anything. We're also not running toward anything, like wildly forcing something and making sure we rush or force into another situation. It's this gentle knowingness, this gentle resolve that sort of unfolds, and there's a flow that's here that guides you one way or the other. Now, Spirit does want to, again, have you make a choice from that place, from peace, from clarity, from gentle knowingness, from gentle awareness, as opposed to these other fear-based places you might have found yourself in, being of two minds. Now, I will say the outcome ultimately is positive. So this is typically for me an abundance card. You can see at the bottom it says sharing. For me, that tends to represent abundance. So I feel like whichever way you decide for you, card pile 3, are they the one? I feel like Spirit wants you to decide this, and I feel like that's relevant and monumental to your growth. There's something here for you to recognize, and there's something here for you to own, and there's something here for you to do that perhaps you haven't done before, but this is something that your soul needs you to do for you. But what I will say is all of you will have abundance no matter which way that you choose, meaning there's a favorable outcome. There's positive outcomes as a result of this choice, as a result of, it's less about, honestly, what I'm getting for you, card pile 3, it's less about the question, are they the one? Spirit wants you to be able to learn to find peace. It wants you to be able to find that place inside of you, to be able to find that inner peace, the truest part of you, the most authentic self, beyond all the thoughts, beyond all the fears, beyond all the projections, beyond all the mental conflict, inner conflict, that noise, all that stuff that can come up, and this all just like this loud screaming of the ego, right? Spirit wants you to learn to be able to connect with this deeper, truer part of you that's beyond all that stuff, and that's what wants to be learned through this. So through this debacle, through this confusion, through this lack of awareness or clarity or certainty around this person, it's less about that, although it looks like that at first glance in human form when you're looking at the physicality of it all. It's more about you getting to know you embodying you with a capital Y, you being able to operate from and make decisions and choices from your inner truth, your inner wisdom that isn't clouded or diluted or distorted or confused by these other mental filters and projections. I do feel like for some of you, again, I'm getting that feedback that it might be supportive to get help to be able to continue to find this place inside of you, because it feels like this might be a history of you guys. I even get schizophrenia. Okay, schizophrenia being, of course, a mental diagnosis. I'm not suggesting and would never diagnose anyone. That's not at all what I'm here to do or even what the energy says, but that mental conflict, that mental divide, it can feel like a mental illness at times. It can feel, I would imagine, for you very debilitating, and if not impossible to decipher or sift through or process. And that's why I'm saying, if you need the help, the support to be able to guide you into clarity on a regular basis and teach you kind of the tools, the practices, whatever, to be able to do that, I would suggest that. Because for some of you, this is more pronounced than others, and it's much more difficult than others. For some of you, you're able to move through things a little bit more easily and kind of see the light through the fog, and for some of you it becomes nearly impossible. And if that's the case, especially if you have a history of mental illness or something that feels like mental illness, even if you haven't been diagnosed, I would encourage you to get the support that you need to be able to heal and to grow and to liberate yourself from that. Because ultimately, card pile 3, even though you came here to find out are they the one, this is actually about your inner liberation. So that's what this is about for you, card pile 3. I'd love to hear from you if this lands for you, if this resonates and you like this reading. I encourage you to like and to subscribe. I want to let you know I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching programs to support you in your life and your work and on your spiritual path. I have an amazing program out right now called Spirit Woman. It's enrolling now if you're watching this in present day reality here in 2021 when I film this, although it's a timeless reading. It's a year-long coaching community to nurture your true nature and highest potential. So please do check out those details if that resonates, and I will see you next time. Thank you, card pile 3.